A lot of people say money doesn't matter, but those same people are actually the ones stressing over it. So clearly, it does. When I say becoming rich or fixing your broke mindset to be rich, I don't mean becoming a billionaire. I mean having enough money that you don't constantly stress about your situation. If you grew up in an environment where money felt limited, then your brain adapts to it. So you're gonna be afraid of spending it, afraid of losing it, constantly overthinking your expenses and thinking that there's not enough money out there for everyone, so I have to keep mine super close. I have to be super aware of everything that I spend, not spend on anything that I do not need, and just keep everything secure. And you end up always choosing security over opportunity. And it is important to be secure, because the truth is the world is a very uncertain place. You don't know what's going to happen next. But being constantly stressed about money is actually what repels it. A scarcity mindset doesn't just affect your bank account, it affects the way you think too. I've noticed that in my own life, everything that I've been taught about money was wrong. If you actually want to be successful and if you actually want your money to be abundant. Because I was taught that money was hard to get. Money was something to keep close, to be super, super aware of. That it was basically the most stressful thing in life, that it was something to constantly worry about. That I was a burden for making people spend on me because I'm a human being and I have basic needs. Therefore, people need to spend on me, meaning my family. And when you're taught that you cannot buy anything for pleasure, like ever, when you want to have fun with your friends, and that you just feel guilty about it, because yeah, you don't need that thing, but maybe once in a while I want to go to the movies with my friends. But that guilt is still there a little bit. I mean, I'm really working on it and I've come a long way, but the way that I grew up, the way my family was structured, everything that happened between my parents, that really shaped the way that I thought about money. And not everybody goes through the same thing. Like the people I went through high school with probably had a completely different conception of money. Just in the way that they would spend their money, you could tell. Because they were not taught to worry that there wasn't enough, because mostly their parents taught them that it was okay to spend for things that maybe you don't need all the time, and that you don't only have to spend for food, because that's the only thing you need, really. So I used to really avoid to spend too much, to really just go shopping or go out when I didn't really feel the need to. It turned out to make my life really stressful, and my relationship with money to be really stressful, and to actually be afraid of adulthood, of responsibility, of getting a job, instead of being excited about getting to actually choose something for once, because you don't choose to go to school. You kind of have to do it. Even though you learn a lot of great things, it's not something you choose. And I used to always be excited about getting a job that I could actually choose. But having that mentality of scarcity around money be taught to me as a kid really made me change how I perceived getting a job in my teens. And it actually turned out to be something I was fearing, which is why I'm fighting that fear by actually doing this, because it's completely opposite to everything that I've been taught. And if it turns out to be what I've always wanted, then it will not be the secure way of getting money that everybody has always taught me to get. It will be something that makes sense to me because I know that I will never lack money and that I will always find a way to make it work. And it's not going to be easy. Money doesn't just fall from the sky out of nowhere. You have to work for it. And if you want your dream to work, sometimes you have to get 1 or 2 jobs on the sides to make ends meet for a little while until it does work. The real mechanism is that your beliefs don't magically attract money. They change the way you act towards it. It changes the opportunity you go for. What do you go towards? Do you go for the secure job that you don't really care about because you're scared that otherwise you won't be able to make enough money? Or do you take a leap and you trust yourself and you go for the thing that you actually want and you know that it might not work right away, but you're willing to do the hard thing for a while until it does work? How do you price yourself? Do you price yourself like an employer does based on a salary? Or do you not put a price on yourself and you actually just put a price on your potential? Because you know that you can do so many more things than what one job would require you to do. How do you think about opportunities? Do you think they're limited and that therefore you need to get the right one? Or do you think that there is an infinite amount of opportunities and that everybody gets their shot? Now, talking about opportunities, I just want to do a quick realization that I had a while ago that I think is really important, and it really explains that causality, is that when you're a kid, when you're in school, even when you're in university, you are taught that opportunities are limited. This is where everybody gets that competitive streak. This is where everybody thinks that money is limited, that opportunities are limited, because that's what they teach you in school. They teach you that if you're not amongst the 5 best students, that you're not gonna get a specific scholarship or you're not gonna get into this university because there are limited seats, but not because opportunities are limited. They limit the opportunities in that particular area, but it doesn't mean that every opportunity in life is limited for a certain amount of people. Everybody has opportunities. Everybody has multiple shots at opportunities, and it all depends on how you react to it. If you see an opportunity come at you, but you do not teach yourself to notice them, then it will go right past you. And that is why scarcity is so dangerous. Because if you think the only opportunities are the ones you see, are the ones that you have to seek out, most opportunities you don't have to seek out. They come right in front of you. And a lot of people do not realize that. And they're actually scared. When the opportunity comes, they run the other side, even though it's what they've always wanted. Your mindset is going to stop you from achieving your dreams if you don't fix it into something that is compatible with your most abundant self. If you don't believe that there's enough in your life, enough opportunities, enough money, enough love, enough anything, and you will make decisions to keep it that way. What people call manifestation is usually just alignment. When you believe something is possible, you start acting like it is. As I said, I used to have a really scarce mindset around money because that's how I've been taught to relate to it. But I took deliberate steps towards changing that because I saw that there was a problem. And the real way to change your mindset is through changing the way you behave. So some things that I did, I started taking myself out on solo dates and just spending money on me for things that I liked. Not crazy amounts, but something that really felt right in the moment without feeling guilty about it. Like go get something to eat and then watch a movie. Or just go out with a friend and just get a matcha or something to drink without thinking how much is it gonna cost, without worrying about that. And I feel like another way to also let go of that scarcity is giving. Now, once again, the intention behind giving should really be about giving. You shouldn't give and be like, oh, so that way I'm getting something out of it, or I'm gonna get more money after that. No, that's not the intention. If your intention is not pure, it's not purely to give to someone, then it's not gonna work because you don't have the right intention. I found that giving to others, which is something I've always done, really helped me fix that scarcity. Now, going back to that initial stress and worry about money that most people have nowadays, actually. Money is important, but you should not constantly stress about it. And it is pretty ironic that the people who have the least money say it doesn't matter. They say it doesn't matter because they don't like that it matters, but they can't get it and they don't know why. But part of the reason, not 100%, part of the reason is because they constantly worry about it. Being obsessed with getting something that you don't have, constantly thinking about it, is just a projection of your fear. Because you know that if you don't get it, then you're gonna be in a very tough situation. But it also means you don't trust yourself to find a way. It also means you don't trust that things will work out for you. It also means that you don't trust people to help you if you need it, because you would help them too. It shows all those things, that fear, because you don't believe that any of those things are possible. And you panic, detaching from the outcome, not knowing if it's gonna work. That takes a lot of courage. And a lot of people are not willing to take that leap, to take that chance. And they like being secure in the way that they relate to money, by constantly tracking it, saving everything, not investing anything, having a secure job. That's good if it works for them. If they feel safe, if they feel relaxed, if they still feel free in their own way. But if they constantly worry about it, if they're constantly obsessed about their savings, if they shift that weight onto their children, because I've been through that, and I can tell you, it is an extremely negative effect on your child to make them feel guilty for simply existing because you're struggling with money. It is not possible for you to create freedom if you're constantly thinking from a place of fear. Being rich comes long before the money shows up. You are rich through your mindset first. Whatever rich means to you, whatever the amount is, it doesn't matter. Being rich is mostly a mindset. Being broke is also a mindset. You can have money but still be broke because you are never going to be able to keep that money because you don't trust it. Money is like relationships, in the sense that if you constantly try to keep the person because you don't trust that they'll stay, you're just going to be pushing them away. And that's the same thing with money. If you don't trust that it can flow, if you don't trust that it can grow, if you don't trust that you can invest it, if you just have to keep it, to lock it up, make sure that it never leaves your side because you're just so scared that you're going to lose it one day, you're actually pushing it away. You're pushing away the abundance that you could get. Money needs flow to grow. Money cannot grow from being stacked in a corner. That's not how wealth is built. It starts with the way you think and the decisions you make based on that thinking. Now, I'm going to give you a little action plan to take so you can let go of that broke mindset, however it's been transmitted to you by whoever it was. It doesn't matter, but you need to be able to get out of it. The first step is to be able to spend money without feeling guilty about it. And that can be through taking yourself out, whatever you do. Going to see a movie, going to get dinner, whatever it is. Ideally, do something new. That is always nice. Whether it's a course, a class, something that you've never done, something to help you grow, something just for you, but not thinking about productivity. Like hopefully, I don't know, a dancing class, art class, whatever you want. And once again, being rich doesn't come only from money, it comes from the way you think, the way you believe in yourself, the way you act. So the other advice I would give you is to go for the thing that you want, even if you don't know how it's gonna play out. So start that project that you've been wanting to try, even if you just have a little idea of what it could be. Take one afternoon to create an action plan based on that idea and try it out. What's the worst that could happen? Instead of going for the internship that will get you the job, that will get you the career that you've been taught that you should want. If it's what you want, that's great. If you're not sure, also start the project. You never know. Now, I hope this video was helpful to you. I will obviously make more in-depth content about money, but this was more about the basic mindset shift that you need in order to grow into the next steps, because once again, it's pointless that I give you all the advice on how to invest, how to really start a business and everything if you don't have the right groundwork. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next video.